Hey everybody, my name's Irene Szabo and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Home Group Realty.
And I'm Sandra Lastovic. I'm the principal broker with the Mortgage Center.
And today we're doing a seminar called Your First Home. So if you're going to be buying your first home, this is the place for you. So things we're going to cover. The facts versus fears about buying your home. A lot of people have fears. We'll clear those out.
Yeah.
Realities of the market today. What's the market doing? 6 simple steps for home ownership. Home ownership is actually very simple. It's kind of scary if you've never been there before. Financing, which is your big part, and then next steps. So we're gonna start with Sandra and why buy now?
Well, the main reason that you'd want to buy now is obviously Irene and I, you may think we have a bias because Irene will sell real estate to you and I will do the mortgage,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
However, we really believe, and I mean, you can talk to some of your friends or family members, that real estate is really a long-term investment.
It is.
Right? And
Yes.
it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No.
It's a get-rich slow and steady strategy. And we've all heard about our parents buying a house for $20,000 and now it's worth
700.
or 800 depending on the market. So it's always a good time to buy. And three of the things that you need to consider are your budget. What do you want your monthly carrying cost to be? This idea of long-term investment and your investment grows. And then also there's a pride of ownership. Mm-hmm. I think most people enjoy their homes and keeping it in a good repair.
Yes, and they like to have what they like to have, right? When you have your own home, you can paint it like you want, you can decorate it like you want, and people like that. Can I really afford a home? Well, until you do the math and visit with my friend Sandra here, and she helps you with your budget, you really don't know whether you can afford a home or not. Is there a bad time to buy the right home? I get this all the time, and I think Sandra covered that a little bit now. Is the right time to buy a home is now, because homes are not getting any cheaper. In Guelph currently, the homes are rising slightly, so the right time to buy is now. Variety of down payment options. Do I have enough down payment? That's a fear people have, and there's a variety, and Sandra can help you with some of the ideas on that. And the best way to get to your dream home, because I'm sorry to say your first home may not fit your entire dream home status, but we all have to start somewhere. So the best time is to buy something now and build equity and move towards your dream home, right?
Right. And Irene had mentioned that it is easier than you think if you're organized and work with professionals like us, Irene.
Yeah.
So really the first step is to engage your real estate agent, do a mortgage pre-approval. Then once you're pre-approved, you can look for a house, make an offer, and there's always a conditional period, and I know, Irene, you're going to cover that.
Yep.
And then just waiting until you get the keys to the house.
Yeah. All right. So Sandra mentioned step number 1 was engaging your agent. So what you want to do is you want to talk to maybe some friends and family, see who they used and what their experience was with an agent, and perhaps interview a couple of agents and see who works for you. Once you've chosen an agent, then you want to sit down with them and create a list of wants and needs. So needs always come first. You might have an area you need to be in or a budget you need to be in. And then wants are something that would be awesome to have, but you may not be able to afford right now. Then what we do is we start looking at homes, and this is the funnest part of all of it. Is we look at homes, and when we find one that meets your needs, we put in an offer. That offer could be conditional on home inspection, financing, and that's where you would work with Sandra to have that. Once the offer has been negotiated on your behalf and has been accepted by both parties, then we solve any problems and remove any conditions. And that, your next step will be actual home ownership.
That sounds easy.
It does.
But even, so they'll meet with you first, Irene,
Yes.
kind of get a feel for their needs and wants.
Yeah.
And then I think even before you go out looking for homes, we always recommend that clients get pre-approved for a mortgage.
Yes, actually, you're right. That is step number 2, is getting pre-approved for a mortgage and visiting Sandra.
And we have a really great process at skipthebank.ca because, I mean, you might think this is like an old school method. If you go to your bank will you'll have to go into their office, bring your paper documents, whereas we have developed a really great pre-approval system where you can actually share your information online in a secure way, and we'll actually be meeting in a virtual way. If you want to get just a good sense of what you're pre-qualified for, just so you can set your budget, we do also have a really great mortgage app where you can go to skipthebank.ca and download the app from the top right hand of our corner of our website. So it's skipthebank.ca, top right hand corner, download the app, and you can actually get a pre-qualification certificate, which is kind of cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, but the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval is the pre-approval actually gets you a credit check. So we'll look at your credit. We verify your income through T4s or letters of employment and recent pay stubs. And then we'll also calculate the debt ratios. So the pre-qualification will just give you something to go by as a budget. But the pre-approval is important because once you put an offer on a house, you want to make sure that the financing goes through.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the things with the pre-approval that we're going to talk about is your budget. And so one of the things I would encourage you is, as you're watching this video, is just to think about what you feel comfortable in paying per month for a mortgage payment, for property taxes, and you might also be buying something with a condo fee, right? Generally, I find first-time home buyers, their budget is somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a month.
Okay.
And that would easily cover about a $600,000 mortgage. Plus, if somebody's putting about $100,000 as a down payment, you're getting to a purchase price of $700,000.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so you've got, again, budget, it's very personal and specific to each individual. And that's one of the things that we talk about in our first appointment is your budget. So if you come to me with that information, that's always very helpful. The one question I often get is, we talked about doing a credit check. What are the 2 biggest factors that affect your credit score? And over 50% of your credit score is impacted by your repayment history and the balances on your credit facilities versus the limit.
Got it.
Yeah, so I mean, you might have a $1,000 credit card, but if the balance is always $900, that's affecting your credit score in an adverse way.
Okay.
But if you have a credit card that has a value of $5,000 and the balance is always $900, that's not going to impact your credit history in the same way.
Okay.
So these are really the important things around credit, and we call them the 5 C's of credit. So capital is the down payment that we're going to talk about. Like, what the minimum down payment is 5%, and most first-time home buyers have somewhere between 5 and 10% as a down payment. Capacity, we're going to talk about your debt ratios. Credit history, obviously we talked about that.
Yep.
Good credit score is important. Job stability is also important. I've heard many people say, well, I haven't been at my same job for 2 years. Can I still buy a house? And yes, you can. If you have permanent full-time employment, even if you're in a probationary period, we can make that work. And then finally, the last step in the mortgage pre-approval is the collateral. So one of the things that Irene will do is, before you put an offer on a house, she'll send us the MLS with the seller's name on it, and we'll do a collateral check. So that's about it. As I said, we do things in a secure way online at your convenience. And that's one of the things that makes us unique, is you don't need to come into an office, or if your parents are co-signing, for example, they'll also appreciate the online appointment because they might actually be in another city.
Yep.
And they can join our appointment online. And that's, we're actually finding that probably 70% of our first-time home buyers that we work with have some sort of help from a family member versus co-signing or even helping with the down payment as a gift.
Right.
So those are some of the things that we look at. There is also some really interesting incentives for first-time home buyers that we'll discuss. And then finally, as I mentioned, you want to make sure that you stay mortgage, what do I call it? Mortgage worthy. And one of the things that we recommend that if you are buying a house, no major purchases, because that can affect your debt ratios like a car. The other thing that can affect your credit history is if you're not paying your bills on time. Right? And it doesn't matter the amount. If you miss a payment on a cell phone, that can adversely affect your credit history.
Okay, great. So now you've got your pre-approval and your budget. Step number 3, find your home. So we've already talked about defining what you want, your needs versus your wants. And once you've done that, we're going to learn about the market. So what's happening in the market? How fast is it? How fast do we want to get out there? Are things selling quickly? We can take our time. And then we will refine your search. And we do that online, and you can peruse properties on your own online. And once you've looked at some properties online, we make a list and we make an appointment and we head out. So what do you look for? Well, your side is about looking at the house. Does it meet your needs? Can it be made so that you'll be comfortable there? How's the area for you? But what I would look for is the value of the home. Is it a good investment? Will it hold its value? If when you want to sell it, 5 years down the road to buy your next home, I want to make sure that that home holds its value and will be an easy sale for you. Also, I look at big ticket items such as the HVAC, the roof, anything that will cost a lot of money so that you can budget for replacing that. Step number 4 would be make an offer and negotiate. So we would sit down and discuss of what conditions we're going to put in the offer and what price you're going to offer. I would send the listing to Sandra and she would check and make sure that it works for you. And then we would put the offer in. Traditionally, an offer might take 3 or 4 hours for a seller to review, and they come back with a counter offer perhaps, or they may just accept the first offer. Other things that are happening still right now is competitive offers. You might have heard about those. I will be talking to you if we're in a competitive offer situation. I will make sure that you're fully protected, maybe do a home inspection before we put the offer in, and that you can afford whatever amount that we are offering. As well as what's important is the collateral, as Sandra said. The house has to be worth what you're offering, or there could be problems with appraisal. Step number 5 would be the conditional period. So if we have conditions like financing or home inspection, traditionally those are 5 business days for Sandra to make sure the home fits what she needs it to fit. And home inspection, we generally have 5 business days to do those. And another condition might be with a condo is review of status certificate. And we would get their status certificate and the lawyer would have 5 business days to review that and let you know that you're buying a healthy, financially viable condo building. Oh, step number 6, the biggie. Close and be a homeowner. So traditionally, the minimum time to close is 30 days and average time is 60 days. There could be a longer closing of 90 and 120. You will, once you come up to your closing date about a week before, you will bring certified funds for your deposit or down payment and to your lawyer, and your lawyer will have you sign all the documents, including the mortgage documents. And he will make sure you get transfer of clean title. And on closing date, you will get the keys and have the most exciting time of owning your first home.
That sounds great,
Doesn't
Irene.
it? Yeah, it's the best part. It's the best part.
We just wanted to wrap up to say how much we love working with first-time home buyers. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Irene and I. We just love providing good information and
we love educating.
yeah.
Right? We both love educating our first-time buyers. And the one thing I hear from Sandra is she goes in good detail and really explains what's going on.
Great detail.
Yeah, you do. And because often you go to a bank and they just wave a piece of paper in front of you. So our contact information is on the last slide that will be playing beside us. And we look forward to hearing from you real soon.
See ya.
Bye.